Welcome to No Match for a Blaster, a Star Wars role-playing podcast, Season 2, Episode 22, Aircraft and Aberrations. I'm your host, moonlighting as a star tambourine player in a cantina, Ito Davis. If you're new here, No Match for Blaster is an actual play podcast featuring the Morality Plays crew playing the Star Wars role-playing system by Fantasy Flight Games. And now it is time to thank our Nerf Herder of the Week, Heather Canfield, and our Blaster Heads of the Week, Chris Canfield and Pineapple. At this level, our patrons get access to our exclusive Patreon feed to listen to our episodes days early. Plus, Heather will get to name an NPC on our show. Thank you, patrons. To be our next Blasterhead or Nerf Herder of the Week, be sure to subscribe to us at patreon.com/moralityplays. Hey, we got our very first Facebook review, and Rebecca has some great things to say. Quote, "The audio editing is very clean, the players are all very committed to making the story feel real, and Imp is my favorite character." That's so flattering. As a thank you, we're going to send her one of these brand new No Match for a Blaster stickers we've been so excited about. To get a sticker of your very own, review us on iTunes or on Facebook at No Match for a Blaster, or tweet our brand new Twitter account at morality_plays. If we read your message on the show, we'll send you one. This offer is valid only while supplies last. So, break out your EMF sensors, because we're returning to the crew of the Atheon, as Kamiya has just chased a vision down the hall.
Open. Moff Sposex. Intelligence log. In searching for a weapon to use against a Sith Lord, the crew of the Atheon has ventured deep into an abandoned Mandalorian moon base. While they are equipped with suits blocking their detection by sensors, the organic members of the crew have begun experiencing vivid hallucinations by some other means. Together with evidence of ancient massacres and research gone catastrophically awry, their composure is beginning to crack. Close. Intelligence log.
After a moment of your jaw being open, a figure blurs in front of your face and runs down the hall to the left that looks exactly like you in that same kind of uniform, and then the male figure runs after.
So I can't blink. That's my problem. I figured it out.
Kamiya remains frozen for another moment after that. So, she seems to freeze in place for probably like 10 seconds before turning and running down the hallway. Back, like, in the direction that she saw those figures go. She doesn't say anything. She just goes in that direction.
Okay, Remi follows her.
I think S4M has completely missed this.
He was like, "Hey, droids, how you doing?"
Yes, because he doesn't see us running.
I mean, unless you're making a lot of noise.
Wait, you
running
said
in
you
those
run?
Suits.
I wasn't. You said you took off running? I missed that part.
Yeah, she's running.
Yeah, I'm running. I'm running down in that direction.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna run at. Well,
You could jog.
yeah, I mean
probably
that changes
hear, like,
what that changes what I was
footsteps.
gonna do. I didn't understand you ran after the. I just thought you went that way. If you run off, I'm gonna look at S4 real quick and be like, "Well, I guess we should chase after her." And
S4M's head swivels around to approximately where you are, but his body's still facing the turbo lift. And he says, "What are you talking about, Captain?"
That's right, he can't see us. I shout after him and tell him.
I watch the glove just bounce really fast, like down the hall.
And I shout towards you to tell him to run down the hall. I guess it would be to the right, because we went to the left already. I'm confused.
Straight ahead.
The only other
Did
direction.
I recognize the face of that person at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is it the person that I think it was?
Who do you think it was?
I think it was Gray.
Yeah, it was Gray.
Okay.
So yeah, I tell S4 to hurry and run down the hall. Run down the hall, follow my voice, and I just kind of keep yelling, S4, follow me, hurry up. Whatever. So he can kind of keep up.
Kamiya...
S4M...
And then you may hear, Imp, this is ridiculous. And then he just like, yeah.
S4M isn't the best at hurrying, but he'll try. Like, I'm kind of slow, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Right. I don't necessarily try and catch up to Kamiya. I just try and
follow. Yeah.
Basically hold the middle so that S4 can catch up and I can somewhat keep track of Kamiya. How about that?
Kamiya, you get to the opening, to the hangar first. You're on a catwalk that's about, like, one normal story above the ground level. Let's say it's about the size of, like, I don't know, half a football field? Maybe more. I don't know. It's pretty dang big, right? When you walk in there, you do not see the hangar that you saw from before. You see the hangar of the New Republic Defense Force. What was flight school? Was your flight school under?
I think flight school was under the Defense Force, but like they just ended up having really anything to do after because the war hadn't started.
Okay, yeah. So it's you find is the hangar from the New Republic Defense Force of the training satellite that you were at when you were young. I don't know, gosh, months ago, a year ago, I don't remember. Anyway, it's not that long.
It's a lot amount of time.
But that's what you see. And you see people milling around, you know, X-wings and Y-wings and A-wings and all these different kind of things. You see the people getting prepped. You do not see yourself, and you do not see... but you do see Gray climbing into the cockpit, or just climbing the ladder to get into a cockpit of an X-wing, pretty far away.
I'll yell out, "Gray, wait!" and like run, like try to get in that direction.
You believe that
probably terrible.
That he can't hear you with your helmet.
Try to calm the ghost. That'll work better.
send a calm out. I think she's like, yeah, she's like all out sprinting, trying to get over to where he is.
All right, you start to run. You get to the bottom of the catwalk that meets the ground.
Where she thinks he is.
And
at some point, I'm going to run off of the catwalk, and I'm going to fall, and
I thought you were going to Looney Tunes
die.
Run, but okay.
Because falling damage is terrifying.
No, you don't.
Hallucinating.
Your brain is somehow meshing the two. So you go down the catwalk stairs, down to the bottom of the hangar, but you do trip and slide for a second, and then as you kind of fall on your stomach, everything resets back to where you actually are. And you look back and you see that you've tripped over Mando goo. Yay!
More Mando goo.
Well, no, this would be dry. It's just it's a desiccated corpse because this place isn't hermetically sealed.
Gross.
Your other two compatriots get to the opening of the hangar. So they're at the top of the catwalk. And you guys see that Kamiya tripped.
No, I don't.
You don't.
No.
You saw
he doesn't.
You saw a desiccated corpse move about a quarter of a foot.
That corpse just moved.
Go to help her up.
She'll like take your hand and get up.
I appear to have missed something, Captain.
She seems to be
Come on,
breathing a little heavily
something.
and is clearly distressed, but doesn't say anything.
You okay? Come on.
Fine.
Did you just move a corpse? I
that was
start
Kamiya.
walking towards the corpse.
Sorry, what did you say, Brandon?
I said no. That was Kamiya.
Oh.
I'm fine. saw something. She is so not happy. She, in fact, looks incredibly sad.
Aww.
She was really freaked out. It's a slightly different unhappy that you see right now. Or that Remi sees, because S4 does not.
Oh, Remi, the floor is not weird. The second you left that room, the floor stopped being purple. Red? Pink? What was it? Purple? Purple. Yeah, it's no longer purple.
Okay.
Yeah, she sounds kind of shaky, but is not explaining further. She kind of takes a step away and looks around to take in her real surroundings.
Yeah, they're like desiccated corpses here and there. They are wearing what looks like the remnants of like more like office-y staff kind of people. Like you don't see them wearing armor really. You do see burn marks in the ground as if somebody had like turned on their afterburners in the hangar before they left. A lot of the hookups, like the fuel and stuff like that, hookups are still kind of laying there with very old, dried up fuel. You also will see pod 1, 2, and 3 of the light vehicle setup, where the weird kind of 2 arms jut out at about 15, 16 feet and kind of have hookups dangling. You can't quite tell how many. Once again, you can't tell me how many were in each pod. But yeah, and off in the distance, not super far, but off to the end, towards the end of the hangar bay, you see a collapsed egress chute, outdoor, effectively, that's been collapsed, and of the 3 vehicles, one of which is engine still spurting. Every once in a while, so it'll be red and then yellow and then sparks, and all of a sudden it'll die down for a second, cough, and this poo, and you like the whole room lights up like lightning went off.
Mm-hmm.
At intervals that you're not sure of.
Which direction did I see like gray going in? Like if that overlay was still here, what ship would he have been at? Or is it like not comparable anymore? Can I not kind of bridge that gap anymore? It's
not comparable anymore.
Okay.
Because the where your imagery was like on a space station.
Okay.
Kamiya freaked out everybody.
She did. And then she did not explain it.
You've witnessed them do some things or act weird, S4.
Mm-hmm.
If this were a different game, I'd say roll psychology or some kind of other stuff, because you have information in the... Roll medicine!
Medicine's a good overarching... What's my difficulty on this medicine check?
So difficulty will be 4, and for every time they've given you information about specifically what happened, you'll get a blue die. So, Remi...
Twice?
I think twice so far. Remi gave you very clear about the whole picture thing. What else? Kamiya talk about the voices.
Yes.
I said about the voices like 2 of the times that it happened.
Yes, but you didn't really tell me very much the first time.
No.
You just said you wanted to get out of here, ultimately.
Yeah, so the first time I heard a voice, she didn't tell what actually she heard. And then she said that she'd heard passion, and then she said that she heard out, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 2. If you'd given him like...
2's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't give a lot of information.
Yeah.
Processing. 2 successes and 4 threats.
The threats are, we are in a bad place.
So...
It's a very threatening place.
I will, while he's doing that, I'll look around the room and see if I can find anything useful.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever.
You can go ahead and... you do your roll, but save it till... Or don't tell me about it till I tell him his thing. But yeah, it's going to be difficulty 3 in the black. Okay, so...
And that's just perception, right? But not vigilance?
Yeah, just perception. So, obviously, mind-altering. You're not picking up anything. You're not picking up any radiation. You're not picking up any really frequencies. Is there anything in the air? Is it like a bioweapon lingering in the air? Maybe? No. It would help you a lot if you were able to catalog their biosigns, which usually you could.
But I can't see them.
But you can't, so it's a little tougher for you. But this does sound pretty mind-altering. The assumption that the vac suits would help or hurt don't make a lot of sense in a lot of scenarios.
Oh, that's true. They should be able to filter out anything that was in the air.
Well, the vac suit... the vac suits would filter out things in the air, and the sensors would make it so that, like, technology couldn't do anything to them. But for something for it to kind of help or not help, it makes it sound like it's an intelligent kind of a thing. That has to be something that's it's not
actively doing this.
Yeah. And you might have some experience in your past of like how that, you've done study into mind manipulation. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing about, it doesn't feel as much proximity. The first time that you've seen but what was the first twinge that you guys told him about?
She said something weird about, the first time she heard a voice, but she didn't actually describe it. She only described it the first time, like the second time she heard a voice, when it said, like, passion.
In the lab, I think?
Yeah, after he said ignorance and knowledge.
What I'm trying to remember if he was there when Remi heard the voice, because Remi definitely said he heard it and told her, and she said, no, I heard something different.
Tell you what, with your successes, you remember specifically that Kamiya said that she was getting a headache, and you said it might have been a pressure headache. And that, but based on your telemetry and stuff, there was no great increase in pressure from the surface of the moon to the bottom of the weapon shaft. So proximity is way bigger than you've ever experienced something like this to be able to work.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I would like the two of you to tell me how you're feeling at the moment. Physically, how do you feel?
Do I still have that headache?
Yeah, you still have the headache, and you have like a sense of, how whenever you have a certain kind of pain or headache or something, you feel like if I could just put my fingers around, it feels so much like a physical, real thing in the middle of your head that you could move or push, or you know what I mean? It's like that.
Yeah.
It's not an overarching feel. It feels so specific and real.
Yeah, but what does it even matter right now? We have a mission to do, and we should do it and get out of here.
I do not disagree with that. However, I believe something is actively acting on you, and I'm rather curious what it is. Because it certainly is not affecting me. Please let me know the next time you have a spike in your headache, or you have a change of symptom, or you see something that isn't there. Something like that. Because I believe there's some sort of mind-altering thing occurring, and it's being actively done to you. It's not passive. The suits you are wearing rule out certain possibilities, such as a toxin in the air, or something that you've touched.
Yeah, the first time my head started hurting was when I looked at that picture.
Also, that engine should not still be on. There's no way it couldn't still be on, unless somebody's been maintaining it.
So either it has recently flown in, or something or someone has turned it on. Recently.
Let's go investigate that. But
alright.
Oh, yes. So Remi, you search around the room a bit.
Searched around. 2 successes, 2 threats.
Okay. So you're able to kind of figure out that some of these ships are making a mad dash, and it looks like there's probably crowding, and you see a lot of damage to the interior of the room and stuff like that. The bodies you see that are like that are left here look like they tend to be in like kind of semi clusters. So you can see like there's 3 bodies, and it looks like there was a struggle, but there wasn't a struggle to a thing. There was just a fight among them. Okay. Wherever you see these clumps of bodies, they are not gathered at where one of the ships would have been. It's more in the middle of them or off to the side. There's even some where it looks like, one looks like it was holding another person up against the wall and stuff like that. You see more weapons than you did on the other ones. In the science laboratory, none of them really had weapons. Here, you see that they have... they're like a vibra weapon here or there, but there's definitely a blaster here or there. No heavy weapons, no military grade high stuff either, though. And most of the uniforms most of what you can figure out as uniforms look like they're probably like flight staff at best. Okay. No lab coats, no military uniforms, or no military armor. Yeah.
Right. Alright, so basically they fought amongst themselves to kill each other for some unknown reason. Is
because
what
they
I'm
were hallucinating,
assuming.
perhaps.
Is that what you're telling me?
Say again?
Am I understanding that right?
Sorry, say that again?
That basically they fought amongst themselves to kill each other.
Somewhat.
And killed each other. That's... I assume the bodies are too old and everything to really tell, like, oh, this person died from a stab wound, this person died from a blaster, this person...
Yeah. Well, it's weird, because if they were all just going at each other, it would look one way. And if they were all just trying to get to a thing, it would look one way. This looks like maybe it was some of one and some of the other. It doesn't look like it was all the same,
Okay.
Or
even that there were 2 sides doing something, like maybe it was 2 different groups.
Yeah,
even. It doesn't look like that, right?
It doesn't look like it was. It doesn't look like it was really specifically organized either. So it looks like it happened in patches. If something were to happen, if you were to say like picked out 1 of every 5, or maybe 6, it's hard to tell because people got away, obviously. But if you were to just like pick out like 1 in 5 or 1 in 6. To go after each other, that might make the most sense. It doesn't look like, it was like 2 groups. It doesn't look like it was like straight down the middle. It doesn't look like it was everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
Are there any more of those claw mark things?
Oh yeah.
There's lots of those?
Yeah. They're not yeah. They're not absolutely everywhere. This is a pretty big open room, but you do see some against the walls, and you do see, even from this distance, that the ships that are left are pretty wrecked based off those kind of gouges.
All right. Well, I think we can assume that there was some kind of fight here at least. As to what they were fighting over, I still don't think we've quite figured that out. And... S4, how likely would it be that there are still some of these active armored suits going around?
The war droids, Captain?
Yes.
I'm not willing to rule it out as a possibility.
Then we should keep our eyes open for them.
Yes. Hopefully they won't be able to see you.
That's a good point. Hopefully not. Let's keep moving and check out those ships.
Do you think these people fought each other, Captain?
I think some of them fought each other, and it looks like some of them were
hallucinating, perhaps?
Get out of here. It's hard to say. There's no distinguishable overarching pattern. It's just... I mean, some seem to have fought each other, some seem to be trying to get somewhere or something. I think some people obviously got away after whatever happened here. Let's keep moving. Let's check out these ships and see if they can offer us any clues. And we still got to get some of the things we actually came here for.
All right. So you start walking over. The ships are pretty close together, but they're not like right next to each other. There's a little space between them. One ship, which so I'm describing the ones you guys aren't making a beeline for first. So there's one medium-sized, very aggressive angles. It looks like the landing gear has been been knocked into, torn apart, massive gouges along the side. You can actually see inside. There's no such thing as structural integrity anymore. It looks like it's just been torn. One of the sides has just been torn into. You can see inside the ship proper. The other one looks like it's just been rammed into thousands of times. The entire front nose plate has just been pressed like it was made out of aluminum foil and just stomped on over and over and over and over and over again. The one you guys are walking over to is it has 4 engines, so 2 on each wing, like an up and down kind of one. It's a pretty sizable ship. It's pretty chunky. The bottom right one is the one that's like burning and flickering and sputtering and like as it gets oxygen. And you can see that inside the cab, now that you get close enough to it, you can see that there are lights that cycle through in the cab. Before you couldn't see it because the engine light was absolutely so bright. You get 20 feet away from it, 25 feet away from it, and that the most recent sputter and then lightning bright kind of plume comes off the engine and blinds you for a half second. Some of you. Mm-hmm. But yeah. All Mandalorian ships. Or you know what? Actually, no. They're not all Mandalorian ships. The other 2 are Mandalorian ships. The third one, give me an Old Republic knowledge check.
Difficulty?
Difficulty... let's see. Difficulty daunting, but you get 2 blue die.
1 success, 1 threat.
Very good. All right. So this looks like a... So this looks like a Old Republic Jedi Order diplomat ship.
Interesting.
Does it look like it's from my era, or possibly a later extrapolation of the same ship? Like, I'm trying to figure out if this ship is one of the ships that came and investigated after this base was abandoned.
Ship templates are mostly the same. You've seen nothing about the ship that would put it any later. Like, it seems perfectly like it would fit in your time period.
Okay.
There's nothing about, like, ships stay the same for a long time. There's no upgrades or anything like that. You do see panels and stuff kind of pulled off a little more scientifically, a little more meticulously. Like, it's been somewhat compromised by that kind of thing.
Like possibly somebody was investigating the ship, or trying to dissect it.
Yeah, and then
but this is not the one that's sputtering.
It is the one that's sputtering.
Oh, it is the one that's sputtering.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll walk up to this ship. Is there still enough of it intact that I can get inside of it?
You're gonna have to mechanical the hatch open.
The door is open. Okay. I presume this is what we would like to do, yes?
Yeah. I was gonna say we should go. We should fix that one first before it blows up on us.
Difficulty?
Hard and 2 black.
No, I cannot get this open. Failure, 3 advantages. It's possibly wedged, or it's sealed too well.
Yeah, I mean it's the hatch you're trying to open keeps out space,
right?
And your one arm
and me, yes.
Yeah.
I can't get this door open, Captain.
You notice that the door doesn't have enough power for you to hack into it, but what you do kind of notice is that it's having fluctuating power, and that the grav lock, the magnetic lock on the door is fluttering open and closed. So it is normally closed, which is a little tough, but as you start to be able to force it, it gets just enough power to reactivate the magnetic lock, which fights you back.
Yeah.
Is there another way in?
Possibly.
Yeah. So you think?
I mean,
So you think you could either there's always a force option. There's always like a thermal detonator. There people with better strength than you are in an elevator, and the other thing is if you could completely turn off power to the door, it'd be much easier for you to open.
Could I slice my way in by trying to override the power system?
It's going to be really hard because you're going to have to slice it incredibly quickly because you're going to have to do it in one of the spurts that it has power. Because you'll essentially lose connection every time it stutters on and off. And you're a droid, so it's possible, but it's like within a quarter of a second.
Ship.
Oh.
Because my supposition is there may be a droid on board that's trying to keep it alive. Or something.
So you...
I try to calm the ship.
You calm the ship. How do you calm it? Like...
I'll check a general Old Republic frequency, just like a standard communications frequency, and ask if there's anybody on board the diplomatic cruiser.
So in one of the energy stutters, you're able to transmit a data packet that effectively is like, is a hail.
A hail, right. Yes, I'm trying to hail the ship.
The computer turns on, and I'm talking like an eighth of a second.
Well, I'm a droid.
Yeah, so it turns on for like an eighth of a second, and you can tell that it receives your message packet and is essentially, asking for verification codes.
Oh. Well, I don't think my old master's ones would work.
It'd be interesting to try, though.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to put itself on lockdown if I try to give it the wrong codes, though.
We spend a force point. Those are the right codes.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we spent any force points.
You guys have not.
This
session. True, we have 5, don't we?
No, we just continue to fail and hallucinate and be happy with that, yeah.
I try to call up I try to call up from my own internal memory, maybe a general distress frequency for Jedi.
Okay.
And try to send the same message on that.
Is this a force point?
Yeah, I'll spend a force point on this.
You spend a force point. You have in your memory some like break open in case of emergency secret codes, because when you come from, it is quasi open warfare between, like, it's a little bit Cold War-ish-y kind of between the Jedi and the Sith where you come from. So you do have,
they were effectively on a war footing.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, when you give me the force point, you have one of those codes that is like emergency, kind of high security clearance, right?
Right.
So yeah, you're able to give it to it, and this is still within that same eighth of a second. It responds. So okay, what is the flavor of the code? What's the essentially, if you think about like Cold War, you have a code that's like, SOS that you could give to a friendly submarine to make it, drop cover and come help you. Like, that's the level of...
Yeah, that is exactly the kind of thing I'm thinking of. But I was trying to figure out, like, what type of situation is it's a code something, It is a code crate dragon. Jedi has to return with vital information to the Jedi Temple, but has no transport.
Okay. All right. So you transmit this. So it's asking like, give me code verification. You give it this code, and it starts to spit out. It starts giving you information. Like, it's starting to tick through what it's already trying to do. You can tell that it's trying to calculate what its ability is to complete this mission. And then there's a small little moment. We're talking in like parts of a second, where it waits for other ships in the area to give that same information.
They can respond better.
Yeah. And it waits for a moment. No other ships respond with information. Waits a moment, and the door unlocks, and you can see the computers. So you'd have to come in to figure out what the computer's doing. But yeah, the door snaps open, and then power goes off.
Right. And I step inside.
So you step inside. It has been stripped of everything. No furniture. Like, this is Old Republic, so it probably had like a friggin' velour chase lounge in it for all. It's all the interior's been. It's down to the bolts. It's down to the the substructure. It is gutted. It's pretty big outside, but all the panels have been opened up, so it's essentially like a garage in here, and that's it. So you're able to see.
They were trying to take it apart and look at it.
Yeah. Okay. You see off towards the front, towards the nose. You do see all the controls and everything, and you do see a full set of Mandalorian armor leaning against the flight controls, and having a grip on one of the sticks, or one of the.
Okay, I scan it. To see if there are any life signs. I'm assuming there are not.
It's coming back fuzzy.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe it's the armor. I'm going to go and check on the body, because I think it's a body.
All right, so you go up to it, and looks like this is like a mechanical throttle that it's holding. And all of a sudden, the power flicks back on for a second, and you see all the computers turn on.
That's cute. and once everything's on, it thinks it's being told to fire up the engines. So it does for a couple seconds.
So here's the interesting thing. You're actually, give me a group mechanical.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, we're probably not going to be any help.
I think that's still.
at least I'm not going to be any help.
S4.
2 yellows, 2 green.
This
Anybody
is
got
hard.
anything else to add to that?
Hard and a black die.
Is there room for more than one person to poke in and look around?
You guys are all kind of doing this together, I assume, unless you guys don't want to be in the ship.
No, I want to be in the ship.
Just 3 advantages.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I was just saying I'm probably not going to be much help.
That's okay.
Not that.
Yeah.
So, you're up to the body. The power turns on for a second, and you see. Are you still spitting out the comms? Because it turns back on for a second.
Yes.
So here's the thing. You see the computers being very confused. You see warnings kind of flat, like as the power... makes no sense in real life, but it's cool and cinematic. The power starts to cascade and turn on all of the computer
it starts with
banks.
vital systems, and then secondary
it's like a
systems
sweep from left to right along the cockpit. So you start seeing the computers turn on, ready, computating, error, checking, error, no, warning, no. And it looks like it has jump coordinates, and it has them, and it's trying to engage them, and it's saying no, and it's trying to engage subsystems, and it says absolutely do not, and it's fluctuating, and then the information...
Proximity warning,
and it's trying to give you that info, and then it's the information you give it, and you're essentially telling this thing that's trying to do something it's not supposed to, hey, do this other thing. I'm like, well, that's at least slightly more reasonable, but it's still no. And that's when you see the engine... Well, in the places where there is, like, you can still see outside, that's when that plume comes up. Effectively, if you have an engine going and you turn it off, it still moves for a bit. And then when you crank the engine again, that's that flare up.
Right.
And you do see that one of the display's subsystems, you see on the prow, like through the duraglass, you see the prow kind of glow in this this golden small bit of a prow glow and then flicker red. But as it says, like, system, like, as it says it's not working, it starts to shut itself back down.
Gotcha. So, I think we found the thing.
Can we get the coordinates it's trying to jump
Nope.
to?
We're working on all of that. But first, I'm going to reach out and take, gently try to move the Mandalorian's hand off of the stick and try to shut it back down. Try to pull it back into an off position, and I'm going to say a phrase in Mandalorian.
So you pick you grab the suit by the hand or by the suit by the armpits?
No, I'm just going to try to move the hand off of the thing.
Okay.
So by the hand.
And it grabs you.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I
I have no jump scare ability, sorry.
So
I'm completely impervious to that.
you move you move the arm effectively, and there's a bit of resistance. There's a little bit of resistance. You keep doing it,
and then I'm going to try to put the it was my understanding that this manual lever is on sort of the on position, like they were trying to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it back to the off position.
Okay, so you feel resistance when you try and move the hand.
As in it does not move?
A little resistance, like maybe no, just a little. I just want to give you an option. You feel a little resistance. Do you keep doing all this?
No, I'll stop.
Okay.
And I'll try to face the Mandalorian armor sitting in the suit, sitting in the cockpit.
You feel like
can I look at him?
It's empty. The
armor's
helmet
empty?
bit looks the helmety bit that you can kind of see into looks empty.
I take the helmet off. I want to look inside. Can I take the helmet off, or is it all sealed?
Oh no, it would be sealed. It would be sealed. I mean, you could force it, but it's a little more complicated than just lifting a helmet. You feel effectively like a pound of resistance. Very low.
Is this powered armor?
No.
I could look for a energy signature or anything.
It's fuzzy.
Is the armor? Is it like power armor? It's fuzzy.
You do scans. It's fuzzy.
Do the two of you see this Mandalorian armor?
Do we see
Yeah.
that?
Okay, good. I'm not hallucinating.
so.
That's reassuring.
It's like, I don't see why we wouldn't, but...
Hey, you've been seeing things I haven't been seeing, so just checking.
Yeah, there's a neck gasket. It's a precursor to Stormtrooper armor kind of a thing. So, you can do it, but it's not just as simple as
I'm not the most dexterous. I'm going to ask one of them to take off the helmet.
Would one of you take the helmet off of this armor, please? There does not appear to be anybody inside, and I'm confused.
Okay. As I go closer to it, do I see anybody through the...
No.
Like the eye slits?
Okay.
I mean, there should be a skeleton or something inside of it, but I don't see anything.
Okay, sure. I'll step to the side.
Yes, I'll step to the
other side.
yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. She'll go up and try to take the helmet off.
Okay, as you take the helmet, so you look in the visor, and you don't see anything. You screw the helmet to the side. You lift it up. S4 is holding it with one hand, right? To help stabilize it?
Yes.
And as you lift it up, you see Gray's face.
God damn it, I knew.
But you see he has a whole, it looks a little more weathered. It looks like, he has, it looks like his face looks like a lot more dried out. And you see scars along the left side of his eyes, and his right eye now has a somewhat low-tech cyber fixture on top of it. And he looks up to you, and he says, in crystal clear bell clarity, there is no death.
She drops the helmet that she just took off of him.
Okay, what do I see, and what does the captain see?
You guys don't see anything there, like, of that kind of flavor. When she drops the helmet, a blorp effectively rolls out of the helmet.
Like goo?
No, like the fat thing from floor -5 rolls out.
Oh.
And undulates a little.
Oh. It's another of these things. That's interesting. I try to look down the neck hole of the helmet. Is there more in there?
Yeah, there's some more.
Huh.
The resistance on the flight stick let's go.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll pull the. I'll finish pulling the flight stick back to off.
Okay, it goes to off.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
She's kind of frozen for a second.
I'm sorry, Kamiya. I would be responding to this, but I totally don't see you. So
yeah,
I am slightly perturbed you
moved.
dropped the helmet, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, all you've seen is that she dropped the helmet. Right. Yeah, I don't know how she's going to react to this. I think she's kind of frozen.
You need a moment?
I think she needs a sec. She'll like whisper, "Great, no, you're not here."
I've disappeared too now, Kamiya?
When the helmet hits the ground, there's nothing. You don't see him anymore.
She closes her eyes for a second to kind of just like refocus. I'm gonna take a walk. She walks out.
Okay, but would you tell me which way you're walking so I don't run into you, please?
Out.
I hear from like the edge of the entrance to the spaceship, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain, oh, does the engine stop trying to kick over now? I wait for the next cycle of power.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like it can sustain the burst of energy to it for a little longer.
Okay. I'm going to go try to find the source of the power. Where's the power plant?
The reactor?
Yes.
There's some panels that are mostly torn up in the belly of the ship.
All right, well, I'm going to head there. So that's what I'm doing for the moment.
Okay.
Captain?
Yes. What can I do to help, S4?
I'm not certain, but I would prefer if you remained in the cockpit to tell me what happens. I'm going to go and look for the power supply and see if I can't turn more systems on for a little bit longer at least. I'm thinking we might want to pull those jump coordinates and any other data that the ship had. Also, it appears that the object we're looking for is on the prow of this ship.
Okay. I should let you know I'm not the best pilot.
We will not be piloting this anywhere anytime soon, Captain. But we may need to be able to detach it.
All right. Head towards the cockpit.
Yay, party split. Right,
Yeah.
Maya, what do you do?
She is going to kind of wander around this bay. Cursory trying to look and see if she sees anything that she might consider important, but she's mostly trying to kind of, refocus and in her head she's trying to make sure she remembers, that there's a lot of stuff that she's hallucinating here. She can't be seeing him. There's no way. Something's in her head. She's trying to figure out a way to get it out. But she just kind of needs a walk.
Yeah, you walk around for a bit. You don't specifically, you're just kind of looking around. Nothing's really going to jump out at you. Give me a quick perception. Give me average with 2 black die. Just curious what you'll see.
Okay.
Because you guys have already ran through this area, but I'll give you another
2 advantages.
Okay. So all the skeletons are pretty desiccated, right? Unlike, there are no gooey bits on any of these. But you do find a thing about the size of like half of your fist off to the side, and the reason it twinges you is because you did see the blorp. You saw the blorp roll around on the ground inside the cockpit. You see something that looks like a deflated blorp. And it's goo. It's not gooey, but it's more recent than all the desiccated corpses. And then you just kind of brood for a bit, and you kind of
She broods.
You go introspective.
She doesn't. She like pokes it with a stick.
S4, you are messing with the engine. So you see that electronically the engine has been overridden to try and very unsafely jump to warp.
Yeah, they're trying to jump to hyperspace inside a building.
But,
right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, more than that, it's think of it's like a DeLorean. It needs to get up to 88 miles an hour, right? But it's it was set up, rigged to cheat. It was trying to get up to 88 miles an hour for a millisecond. It wasn't trying to do anything more than that. And the engine has been retrofitted, like the engine electronically has disregarded all safeguards. Mm-hmm. And you think that if the engine had been on for another second or two for any of those times it was trying to be restarted, it would have jumped. But you can't imagine it could have, yeah.
This was a very, very bad plan. Yes. It probably would not have survived jumping, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Remi, it's when it powers back up, it's not, the engines aren't on anymore. So you're able to see the computer readouts, and it's literally saying that it wants to jump like a meter forward.
Okay.
Yeah. And that the prow, actually when it powers up, the engines aren't on anymore, but the other subsystems to prepare for that do turn on more, right? So all the things that, for it to be prepared for a jump do turn on, and you see more of the readout and more energy go to the prow, and you see it light up even more. And about 2 feet in front of the tip of the point of the prow mounted weapon thingy, you see a pinpoint of blazing white. And it just sustains it.
Down. Right, and then it just shuts down?
Well, it shuts down. It lasts about twice as long as it would before because you've turned off the engine thing.
Okay. I'm going to try to reroute power to the computer systems. I don't want it to jump.
All right, give me computers.
Difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be... Gosh. Difficulty is going to be 3 and 2 black.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The system's really messed up, or
a few different ways. The system is tough. It's been jury-rigged and pulled apart.
Okay, so just for my own edification, my general impression of this ship is that it isn't going anywhere because it's too damaged. Is that correct? Could this ship fly?
No, you don't think. Well, with time and work,
A lot of work,
but it's been pulled. It's been pulled apart in a way.
It's been stripped down to its basic systems,
yeah,
right?
With no intention of putting it back together.
Right. Okay. So they were not nice about it.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 successes and 3 threats.
Okay, so you're.
What do I accidentally turn on?
Well, you know that you can reroute power away from one thing into another, but if you do it, you'll never be able to repower up what you depower.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Okay, so if you say you were to so you know that you can depower something and put the power somewhere else, but the second you pull the power away from a system, it'll never go back to it.
Right, I'll never be able to send power from this ship back to whatever that system was, right?
Yeah, so like say if you take power away from...
Oh, or are you saying if I turn the power off to the MacGuffin, we'll never get the MacGuffin to work?
On this ship, yeah.
On this ship, right,
yeah.
Okay. My job was not to return a MacGuffin that worked.
Yeah.
That is not part of the stipulation.
That is fair. She
didn't
say
stipulate
that.
Yeah, I want to pull power away from the engines, certainly.
All right, then the engines will never function again.
Will never function again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I will pull power away from the engines, and I will reroute it to essentially the computer systems and monitors and things like that. I need information out of the ship. I don't need it to function as a ship.
Okay.
Is there enough power left in the ship? Is the power supply still working? Like the power plant?
Yes, but... Like
there's only so much left.
So it was dead. So you can extrapolate that it was dead for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But something has happened where the reactor was turned back on. But essentially,
when was the reactor turned back on?
Go up to the computer.
I'll ask the computer.
The computer says that the reactor was turned on about a galactic month ago.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that you could register that it had enough attempts for another maybe few days. And the essentially
then it was going to run out of power.
Yeah.
Captain, and Kamiya for that matter, someone turned this ship's power supply back on a month ago.
A month ago.
I think Kamiya's probably still off brooding.
Yes. I'm going to try to check the ship's systems. Are there any security systems or cameras? Did it register who came in?
It's all been dug
a month
out.
ago? It's all been pulled out. Okay. Of course not. That would be too easy.
Remi, give me...
What were the jump coordinates? Were those the ones that were like a meter ahead of us? Is that what you were saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Anything else I can pull from the ship's systems? What's the name of the ship?
Oh, damn you. Damn you.
Ships have names.
Yeah, they do.
Ships have names and designations and a job, and they are assigned to people. I'm trying to pull all that information. Whose ship was this? What is its name? What was it doing?
This is the Valiant diplomatic ship.
What was it doing? Can I find anything like that?
Yeah, you see...
It's on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan. Huh.
Both of you give me a perception.
Okay.
Individually.
Separate?
Individually.
Okay. Difficulty?
Hard.
Nothing. 3 threats.
Remi?
Ooh, two threats.
All right.
Hold on.
I perceive 2 threats.
I perceive 3 threats.
Brandon, you notice that there's more blorp goo slowly coming out of the suit, out through the neck hole. It's weird.
Well, I've gone to the cockpit. Is that where that was?
That's where,
That's where
it
that
is,
was,
yeah.
yes.
And he's come back up to you. So he's in the cockpit too now to read all the computers. So you were trying to figure out what it's like. It says this last mission is still in progress. It gives the name of a space station that it was trying to get to strengthen diplomatic ties.
Does it have a location for this space station?
Yes.
I might mark that for later. There may still be a space station there.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. I will mark that information for later. I now have the position of an unknown spaceship. Spaceship! Not a space station. Space station.
And that is Station Faldrin, Faldrin.
Oh, names and everything.
Yep.
Oh.
Captain, it looks like they were on a diplomatic mission to a space station called Faldrin. I have the coordinates. Not that this is particularly relevant for the moment, but it is interesting.
We might like to check it out once we
That's what I was thinking.
get some free time.
Right, one of these days. Alright. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, look. The gloop is glooping.
I'll try my bioscanners again. Is it giving off life signs?
So, Kamiya, a piece of rubble falls near you off to the side. From the ceiling.
She kind of jumps back and pulls out her blaster rifle and looks. Does it look like something's moving up there?
You can't quite tell. You're still in mostly hazard lights, and now that the engine is going full blast, you actually have less light than you did before. But then you start to hear another piece of rubble fall from 40 feet away, and then another one from 60 feet away, and then another one. And it almost sounds like rain. Bobby, you hear a small little whisper in the back of your head. You can choose to ignore it if you wanted.
I kind of want to hear it.
Okay.
There's a whisper. I kind of want to know what it's saying now.
Okay.
You tell us this? Like, for example, the medical droid who asked you to?
Depends what it says.
You hear 4 words very clearly. Chaos, harmony, death, force.
Chaos, harmony, death, force?
Yep.
Which voice was this in?
It's kind of an amalgam. It is Gray's voice, and it's also that voice you heard originally that you don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's not raspy. S4 essentially has walked around the front of the ship. Rubble is falling here and there, and then you get this. So do you share that?
Yeah, I think she will. Something's still in my head.
Interesting choice of words, Kamiya. Do you have a headache? What are your new symptoms?
A couple of voices. I recognized one of them.
You recognized one of the voices? Whose voice was it?
Somebody I know.
Could you be more specific than that? Was it the captain's voice?
No.
Was it General Char's voice?
You don't know him.
Okay. Let's try this again. Whose voice was this?
It's my wingman, Gray Out, is what I called him. I don't know if he survived the attack on the Hosnian system, but I've been seeing him here.
S4M's old eye, the iris on one of his eyes opens to all the way big.
You have been seeing him?
And now I'm hearing him.
Do you have any guilt associated with the loss of this friend of yours?
Is that a relevant question?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out if you're manifesting this on your own.
Why would I be manifesting this on my own? Weird.
Because you're under a great deal of stress.
Force stuff is happening.
Possibly, but it's also possible that you're contributing to this.
Great, thanks.
As this is happening, Remi, you're on the bridge still, right?
Yeah, I'm still in the cockpit, just waiting for.
You
something.
blink your eyes, and all of a sudden, you're on the cockpit of a different kind of ship, completely smaller, sleeker. There's a flight chair off to your left. Somebody sits down in the flight chair, takes off a jacket, and then the flight chair kind of seat swivels a little bit over towards you. And there is a woman, pretty fair face, a scar along her cheek, and she looks up to you and says, "Pierce." And your body tenses. When that word is uttered, you feel a shock go up your spine without completely understanding, but like somebody walked over your grave.
All right, that's it. You two have to stop this. I'm trying to accomplish a mission here. Confounded meatbags. Breaking down on me. Look, I'm missing an arm, and I'm doing just fine.
Is it still there, or is it gone?
It's still there. You're lingering in the moment.
I look around and see what other information I can gather. Like, is there a name of the ship or some coordinates or a star cluster or...
You don't... nothing you're able to pull out as you try and focus on it's like a dream, where when you try and focus on something else, everything kind of goes out of focus just a little bit.
All right.
As you try and pull your gaze away, like, from her face, you hear her say, "Passion yet serenity."
I say, what does that mean? Passion yet serenity. What does that mean?
What did you say, Captain? What about passion and serenity?
You blink, and it's gone. Hearing S4's voice come over the comm, and the next blink you do, and it's gone.
Sorry, S4, I had another... whatever we're calling it.
Oh, wonderful. You're hallucinating as well, Captain?
I think I might be. We were on another ship, and there was a woman there. She called me Pierce, and then she said, passion yet serenity.
Was it a woman you know for your past, Captain? Do you have guilty feelings about this person?
S4M's working on a theory here.
Great.
Real quick.
Apparently, all Force-related weird stuff is guilt-based now.
S4M spins his head around 360 degrees for a moment, looking around at things.
What words were said again, Captain? Kamiya?
The first ones I heard were yet harmony, then just now, passion yet serenity.
Did either of you hear emotion or peace or ignorance?
There was something weird when you said ignorance and knowledge before. It was like it...
Oh, it was scraped into the data pad we found. Yes. Okay, this is the Jedi mantra. Emotion yet peace, ignorance yet knowledge, passion yet serenity, chaos yet harmony, death yet the Force.
Gray said there is no death.
Yet the Force. There is the Force.
A massive object crumples into one of the other ships.
Oh, look, it's a Basilisk war droid.
Red lights turn on.
Yeah, I think it
roll
is.
credits.
And roll credits. Thanks for listening. To make sure you don't miss any big updates, follow us on Facebook at No Match for a Blaster, or on Twitter at morality_plays. If you enjoyed our show, please leave us a review on iTunes, and visit our Patreon at patreon.com/moralityplays. No Match for a Blaster is a podcast, Morality Plays. Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force of Destiny are made by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our theme is by Kevin MacLeod. Sound effects by Tristan Longren, Vindus, and Akmov. And of course, I'd like to thank my amazing players. Brandon playing Remi Drobash, Gerald playing S4M3L, and Bobby playing Kamiya Saris. And of course, I'd like to thank you, our listeners, and we'll see you again soon in a galaxy far, far away.